head coach Ian Foster and captain Sam Kane. We'll go straight to the first question here on the front row.
Congratulations to both you guys. I know how proud you are to wear the jersey and represent our country, Sam. I know how proud you are to coach this team, Ian. Do you realise how happy you have made our country? You've made even the Labour voters happy today.
Oh, look, yeah, I think we do realise. You know, when we finish the game and then look up around the crowd, you look out for the people in the All Black jerseys and you see the joy on their faces. You first look out for your family, but then when you do a lap around the stadium and see, you know, people that have made the effort to support us, but we know, you know, the beauty of social media these days is we get to see a lot of the messages, we get to hear a lot of the support. But hey, we'd just like to thank them first and foremost for that support. We feel it, and you know, we're glad we could put a smile on their face Sunday morning back home.
Ian, just here. Ian, was that the most important and most impressive victory you've overseen as head coach of this team?
No, you guys keep reminding me South Africa was quite important last year. But I'm pretty happy.
Where does this one rank then?
Pretty high. You know the answer to that. Look, this is a special day for us. It's we've excuse me, I've lost my voice because it's quite loud in that box. But I think the world's been talking about these two quarterfinals for 12 months, even longer. And I guess our one and the one tomorrow night with France, South Africa is likely to be the same. And I think the massive games, two very proud teams, two teams that you saw them desperate to want it. And sometimes the sweetest victories are when your opponent plays really, really well and tests you to the limit. We didn't want to play Ireland with 2 yellow cards, and Ireland have got a big record of winning big games when the opposition get cards, and they often do get cards when they play Ireland for some remote reason. I'm not sure why, but it's the end of the day, we played a lot of that game with 14 men, and I couldn't be more proud of the effort of Sam and the players, and I thought we looked in control of it, and it felt good.
Question for the captain. Obviously, New Zealand are very renowned for the attacking and try scoring, rightly so. But how proud are you of the way your team defended 37 phases, I think 3 or 4 minutes, incredible intensity, Ireland absolutely doing everything they could to get over that line. How proud are you of that achievement and those 37 phases?
Yeah, what an incredible finish to a test match. 37 phases. It's almost as long a period to defend that I've heard of or witnessed. The ability for the boys to just keep turning up for each other. I think obviously it's pretty clear that defence probably won us the test match tonight, and history shows that teams that win World Cups have are very good defensively. So I feel like that defensive performance has been building for a wee while, and it's got to be our benchmark going forward.
Second row, yeah.
Ian, with how much chatter there'd been about the sort of your back row selection and your team selection, how happy were you with how they went tonight and how they sort of justified your faith, and especially the man sitting next to you and Ardie and Shannon?
Yeah, we've been pretty clear about, I guess, our strategy for a while. I think sometimes people can forget we've had a number of injuries leading into this tournament that forced us into a few changes early on. But there's no doubt in my mind about the combination we had. I think Sam's made for these sort of test matches personally. They're tough test matches. He does a great job. I thought Ardie was outstanding again and put his body on the line just about every second breakdown. And Shannon continues to bring a different style to the game. I thought he I thought his legs looked a little bit. He was running on empty a little bit at times. I thought he overchased one where Ireland scored in that first half. But again, the Lucies played well, and it was a sort of game a little bit stop-start in the second half. I felt there weren't a lot of scrums, and it just meant that we were able to keep our combinations intact for deeper into this game than we perhaps planned to, and I just felt the composure of the guys was there, and we were, whilst we had long defensive periods, I still felt we were in control for large parts of that.
Ian, well done.
Thanks, Andrew.
The last stanza of that game, 30-odd phases, what was going through the coaching box? What was going through your mind? How's the heart?
I actually felt quite calm, to be honest, because I felt that they were doing a sort of a cut and paste attack, weren't they? They're doing the same sort of things. I thought we were really patient in how we defended it, but they're really efficient with it, and it's hard to get that little, to get your nose in to try to win the ball. And so we were hunting and searching for it all the time, but they were good enough to keep us out. But in the meantime, we didn't lose patience, and that's the pleasing part. But and we've discussed that as a group. I thought between Scott McLeod and with Joe helping them on the defence side, I think we've been just building our system really for today, and about how we wanted to defend. And there'll be some areas we've got to get a little bit better, but we're making some strides in that space. So I was delighted, and clearly that one mistake in the game can go the other way at that point, but they were under as much pressure as us, and we held tough. And let's just say, haven't been to a World Cup that you haven't had a game like that. You go to the 2015, the semi-final against South Africa, we had to do exactly the same. So that's what World Cups are about, is games like this, and you just got to roll your sleeves up and trust what you do.
Sam, could you just talk to the mental resolve of this group when Ireland continue to throw everything at you? They score a try, they get within 1 point. Just the mental resolve of this group to stay calm and trust, I suppose, the way you're able to keep them out.
I think a lot of it comes back. We've had an awesome week's prep, and with that, you take a lot of confidence. There was a real air of calmness, even on the bus when we got to the changing rooms. When you're in a leadership role, you're sort of analysing that, thinking, hopefully that's a good thing. But as it turned out, I think we just had we know how we want to play, we know what we're about now, and it's been building up for a test match like this. And don't think we allowed ourselves to get rattled out there. We were clear on when they scored, what we needed to do to fix it, and we're confident in that we were making inroads, when we held on to the ball. So,
Ian, congratulations. Can you still be under the radar in the semi-finals?
I suspect not. I'm not sure how far under the radar we were. I think certainly all the talk was about Ireland in many sense, but it's not a tag that we like to have. We don't adopt it ourselves. And pardon? Did you not say you were under the radar a few weeks ago? Oh yeah, but that was a few weeks ago. I'm allowed to change my mind occasionally. So, but the limelight was on Ireland. I mean, let's face it, they had an amazing, 17 wins in a row. They've built a team for this sort of iconic moment, hadn't they, really? And so they had massive expectations about to perform, and we've been there as a team, and we know what that's like, and we know that some things fuel you in that sort of situation. So our role was really just to just to be quiet and to steel ourselves for the challenge that we needed. So, but no, I don't think we'll be under the radar next week. And you know, we know Argentina well; they know us well. Play each other regularly, so it'll be a heck of a game, heck of a good Southern Hemisphere game.
Hi Ian, just building on that. Sorry, just here. Hi
Sorry.
Ian. You kind of touched on it now already, but just what do you expect from Argentina? Obviously, you've kind of been shocked by them in the past.
Yeah, look, I saw a lot of that game. They're tough, Argentina, and when they're in the house and play that physical game, they're tough. But that's about 2 sentences that I'll say about them, and the rest we'll save for the next few days, because I'm still a little bit in the victory over Ireland, to be fair.
Ian, a lot's been said about the defensive resolve, and obviously a lot of big moments going in a match like that, but just how decisive, I think you're one man down at the time, the Ireland maul, Geordie Barrett holds an Irish attacker up. How decisive do you think that was in the context of the contest?
Oh, look, I think, you know, they peeled away. They took a punch. You see that nowadays when you go for the goal, you've got to be really clear. And, you know, I think Geordie had a role to do, and he did that role really well. So, you know, it wasn't by chance. But, you know, I thought it capped off a really strong game for him. You know, I think so. It was a big moment. I thought the other big moment for me was when we were under a bit of pressure. We had a defensive line out and scored 80 metres up the park. And I thought that was a big moment in that second half, because there's something about scoring long-range tries that it can deflate a team, and that got us out to 8 points, and to me that sort of set the platform of it. So the nice thing for me is there's a nice little mix of some really good attacking stuff and some really courageous defensive stuff in that game. So plenty to work with, and we'll need that.
Sam, well done tonight. Johnny Sexton, he played his final game for Ireland. What is he like to come up against, and what have you made of him as a player overall?
Oh, look, he's been massively successful for them. It's hard to say too much about other players, because if we hadn't won, then we had a number of iconic players that we'd be sort of saying goodbye to. So, you know, World Cups are really about the result and getting what you want. When it comes to, I know they'll have a few other players probably that are finishing. I know they would have targeted this tournament big for those guys. And look, we know how much it hurts when they don't get what they want. So it'll be, but they'll reflect on their careers. Johnny will be one and reflect on a great career that he's done with Ireland and done them very, very proud.
Yeah, look, he's been outstanding for Ireland for a very long time. I think as long as I've been playing Ireland, he's been there. And he's obviously very good at taking the ball to the line, his decision making, and he sort of directs that team and steers them around and does an outstanding job. So, you know, the fact that he's been able to play at the top level for so long is an absolute testament to him and his character, without knowing him too well personally. But anyone who's able to do that, it says a heck of a lot about them, because we all know once you play a test match how much goes into each one. So yeah, congratulations Johnny on an outstanding career.
Sam, a question from me. Last year you received a bit of trash talk from Peter O'Mahony, something to do with Richie McCaw in Wellington, and I was just wondering, was that any motivation for you building up to this, and also what were you saying to your players during the game when there was so much adversity, you know, a couple of yellow cards against you and stuff like that?
No motivation from that. I think, look, we know they've got a few players that like to get a bit, sort of try to get under your skin, I suppose, with tactics like that. And, you know, we went into the game knowing that they were going to be like that, but really focused, consciously focused on just sticking to our jobs and worrying about executing our stuff. And, yeah, we just didn't buy into it, I suppose.
We have time for one more question.
Ian, could you just explain to us if it was part of your tactical bet that given the amount of minutes your starting team had and the amount of minutes the Irish starting team and the bench had, was it part of your tactical bet that Ireland would fatigue as the game went on?
We thought so. I think there's been a bit of evidence of that in the past. And, you know, so that's why we wanted to keep the game moving, you know, but, you know, I'm not sure they did as much as I would have liked, you know, because look at the way they finished. You know, they finished strong and on top, so I don't think it was a major issue in the game. I think the flow of the game was different. There wasn't a lot of scrums. We would have liked more scrums against them, and I think you saw our scrum dominance in that game, and some more scrums might have taxed their forwards a little bit more, but there wasn't, and that happens. So that meant that we made our subs later in the game than potentially what we did as well. So, but you know, we like to play fast over. It's not just a versus an Ireland thing. It's versus everyone really. But gee, you can't criticise them for their attitude in that last 10 minutes, can you? Ireland, I'm talking about.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. This is the
Thank
end
you.
of this press conference, and we will be opening the mixed zone shortly.